What's up, guys? Welcome back to my channel. So, the Houston Texans are taking on the Carolina Panthers later today for their first preseason game, and Tom Savage is named the starter, so I decided, why don't we do another quarterback battle in Madden like we did with the Broncos and see if Tom Savage deserves to be the starting quarterback this year, or if Deshaun Watson can take his job his rookie year.
Tom Savage, former fourth-round pick by the Houston Texans. Last year he was named the starter until his season ended with a season-ending injury, and this year he looks to become the starting quarterback once again.
Right, so we got Tom Savage up first, playing the Broncos defense because who's better to play than the Broncos defense? So gonna see if he can throw a 99-yard touchdown first, or if Deshaun Watson can. So let's go going. Probably gonna be targeting DeAndre Hopkins a lot, but see how it goes. So, all right, let's try Will Fuller. Ooh, keep Talib with the pick. Yikes! This no fly zone. Oh man, it's gonna be hard. And I am playing on Hall of Fame difficulty, so yeah, not trying to make this easy for me. So I guess I'll just have the gameplay running, and let me just talk about the Texans quarterback battle. So last year, Brock Osweiler left the Broncos. I'm sure you guys all know. Very heartbreaking, but his career kind of ended after he left us, so it's okay. I mean, there is news he's going to start for the Browns, but I don't think he's going to be that good as he was. So he got a big contract from the Texans, got traded away to the Browns this offseason. But close to the end of the season, Coach Bill O'Brien actually benched Brock Osweiler for Tom Savage. Tom Savage playing 3 games. Didn't do that bad. I think he definitely did a lot better than Brock Osweiler did. He had, if I can remember correctly, he didn't throw a single touchdown in those 3 games or a single pick. So we still don't know what he's capable of, but in the 2014 NFL Draft, he was a 4th-round pick. So he definitely was one of the top quarterbacks coming into the draft, and has really been a backup, never really showed what he could do in the NFL level. And I think this year might be his chance to actually come back and become starting quarterback for the Texans. And I feel that's why Bill O'Brien is starting him preseason game number 1. But you can't rule out Deshaun Watson. Deshaun Watson, national championship winner with Clemson last year. Top 3 quarterback, very debatable though. Top 3 quarterback in the draft. Mahomes and Trubisky both went before him. The Cowboys traded up from number 3 to number 2 to take Trubisky, and the Chiefs traded up from kind of the end of the draft to pick up Patrick Mahomes. So the Texans, pretty sure they went into the draft thinking a quarterback might fall to them. Didn't think that other teams would trade up and try and grab one of the top quarterbacks, because this year's quarterbacks weren't that great as they were a few years ago. So the Texans kind of waited it out. Then once they saw that both Trubisky and Mahomes were in the top 10, they're like, okay, we got to go and get a quarterback now. So they traded up, and they selected Deshaun Watson, 3rd quarterback off the board. So I know a lot of people want Tom Savage to be the starter since he was on the team for a while, and last year he did pretty good. But I think that if Bill O'Brien and the rest of the Texans, if they saw that, they wouldn't have traded up to select Deshaun Watson in the first round. If they saw Tom Savage as a reliable starter this year, they probably would have waited until the 3rd or 4th round, or maybe in the 5th round to draft a backup quarterback for him. But they went up and they drafted a top 3 quarterback, a national championship winner, which I feel like the only reason they drafted him was because they're unsure if Tom Savage can really reach his potential this year or not. He's been on the team for, I think this is his 3rd or 4th season in the league, and he hasn't really shown to the Texans that he can be a reliable starting quarterback. And last year, Bill O'Brien started him. He didn't do that bad. He played as a game manager, didn't throw any picks, but at the same time, he didn't throw any touchdowns either in 3 games that he played. So that shows you that he's kind of conservative But at the same time, even though he doesn't turn the ball over, he doesn't score many points either. So I feel like Bill O'Brien and the rest of the Texans coaching staff, they know what they're getting out of Tom Savage. They've seen him for the past 3 or 4 years. They've seen him in game last year, and they know what he can do. He can be a starting quarterback in this league, but he's not going to give you above average play. Maybe a few weeks a year he'll play above average. He'll play like a really good quarterback. And at the same time, sometimes he's going to play below average and he's going to have terrible games. So they went out and they drafted Deshaun Watson. And we'll get to Deshaun Watson later, but obviously the Texans have a problem with Tom Savage, or else they wouldn't have gone out and drafted a top quarterback in the draft this year. Anyways, get back to the gameplay here. So, here we go. There we go, Hopkins. Finally burned him. Beat the no-fly zone. Let's go.
Deshaun Watson, 12th overall pick in this year's NFL Draft. He goes into the preseason looking to show the coaching staff that he deserves to be the starting quarterback this year.
Alright, let's get on to Deshaun Watson. So, as I was saying before, the Texans traded up from, I think, the 24th overall pick to the 12th overall pick to draft Deshaun Watson, third quarterback off the board. So, the two quarterbacks taken before him, teams traded up to get them too. The Bears traded up from number 3 to number 2. The Chiefs traded up from somewhere in the end of the draft to, I think, number 10 to take Patrick Mahomes, which shows you how important QBs were in this year's draft. A lot of teams wanted a top quarterback and they wanted to get him early. They didn't want to take the risk of having to wait for one to fall into their lap at the end of the draft. And I feel like the Texans, they might be one quarterback away from the Super Bowl. Their defense is dominant with J.J. Watt and Clowney coming off the edge. Have very good corners and safeties. And a lot of people say they are one quarterback away from the Super Bowl. Brian Hoyer couldn't be that guy. They thought Brock Osweiler could be that guy, and after 1 year, they realized that he couldn't, and they traded him away. And a lot of people thought Tom Savage could be the guy, including the Houston Texans. But then, on draft day, the Texans just surprised everyone, traded up, and grabbed Deshaun Watson, showing that they believe in Tom Savage, but they don't have all 100% into him. They like Deshaun Watson, or else they wouldn't have traded up to get him. They know what they can get out of Tom Savage, and they know that Deshaun Watson has a high ceiling and plays good in big games. We've always seen Deshaun Watson has always done good in big games. National championship last year against Alabama, this year against Alabama, the playoffs every year. He always plays good in big games, which I think might be a reason why the Texans took a chance on him. The Texans make the playoffs almost every year now because of their defense, but their quarterbacks cannot play good in the playoffs, which is why they lose a lot of their games. So if they can get a quarterback who can play well in the playoffs, such as Deshaun Watson, they still don't know how good Tom Savage can actually play in the playoffs because he hasn't played in the playoffs before. He got hurt the game before. So I think there's a lot of reasons why the Texans drafted up to Deshaun Watson, but the major reason being they like him and they are not completely 100% in on what Tom Savage can do. So real quick, guys, this video is almost over. Just kind of want to talk about a few things. I was wondering if you guys like these kind of videos, like with the gameplay in the background, and then I just kind of talk about the quarterback battle or whatever battle as a whole. Or if you guys want me to just talk about the gameplay, put that down below. Or if you guys just want me to make a separate video where I just talk about the quarterback battle or the story that's happening, and you think the gameplay is kind of a distraction, put that down below. So I am thinking about maybe doing one of these one a week, especially in preseason. So whatever position battle you guys want to see next coming up in preseason, comment down below and I'll get to it. And I also got some sweet content planned out for when the regular season does start. So as you can see here, DeAndre Hopkins, we got him. We beat the no-fly zone. And I'm pretty sure he did it faster than Tom Savage. So let's see the highlight play.
Take me home tonight. I just wanna show you that tonight. Right here and make me feel alright. 'Cause baby, we are
Alright, Deshaun Watson is who won the quarterback battle in Madden. And Deshaun Watson is also who I predict will be the starting quarterback at the end of the season, not at the beginning. I feel like Tom Savage is still going to start the season as a starting quarterback. But eventually, I feel the Texans are going to give Watson a chance to prove himself. He has a much higher ceiling than Tom Savage, and the Texans already know what they're going to get from Tom Savage, which is why I feel that Deshaun Watson is going to get an opportunity this season to start, and he's going to make the most of it, and by the end of the year, he will be the Texans' starting quarterback. And don't worry, guys, highlights are still coming out, so don't be bummed out about that. And one last thing, make sure you guys have your notifications on. I have a huge event coming out, and you don't want to miss out.